All right, so this guy here, I tell you what, my friend Matt Apple, aka Sloppy Mechanics guy, this is the best free advice he's given me. He's given me lots of free advice, not all of it good, but as far as free advice goes that is good, this is definitely one of those things that is fabulous. It's a low pressure regulator on Amazon. You just have to go on Amazon and like type in low pressure air regulator or something like that. That's what I did, because I sure the fuck don't bother Matt with questions, and he's already made it in a video. Even though he says he's going to put the link in the description, he never does. But that's cool. What this guy does is it knocks the pressure down real low. So we have super high resolution at very low PSI. So I'm gonna turn my compressor on. And we'll just see what this thing's coming on at. I got this guy set to ohms. And the inside of these guys is basically just a spring, a diaphragm, and a contact pad. And when it makes contact, it closes the loop. So there we go. It is hitting at 5 psi. Okay, it's coming off at like 3 psi. Yeah, definitely 5 psi. So these guys are adjustable. I like it to come on as soon as possible. So we will back it out. We'll back that nut out and see what happens. But I think it's just the spring on the nut kind of pushing down. Uh-oh. It's probably the one that I don't have in here. Oh, look, that works. Okay, so we'll just go back, 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 back. Right, that is 3 psi as advertised. I think it's supposed to go from like 3 to 7 psi. Okay, in case you haven't figured out what I'm doing here, I'm testing the Hobb switch because I'm getting ready to mount the Hobb switch up in the trunk of the car and wire that into my secondary fuel pump. So when I hit 3 psi as tested, it will ground the relay and that will kick on the voltage, which will make the pump go hot. And at 3 psi, we will have two, count them, 1, 2, 380 liter per minute pumps going, flowing, moving. Straight alcohol to the engine. So that's exciting. That's what we're doing here, in case you were wondering what was going on. So we got this guy, it's teed. This is going to go to the loud valve. This guy here, I need to put a zip tie on there. This guy here continues up, and you see, whoop, through the floor pan right there into the trunk, where we are going to attach the Hobb switch. So I fiddle with this guy, and it seems to be pretty consistent, opening up at 3 psi, meaning it closes the circuit at 3 psi. So with that said, we're going to run this onto a relay, and basically what I like to do on the relays is run them biz out as hot. So it's just take the two hots, wire them together, and then run it to the pump, and then wire your brake into your ground. So when it grounds out, everything turns on, everybody's happy, lots of power from the battery, happy fuel pumps is the idea. So with that said, that thing was kind of janky, and the last thing you want to do, like I said before, was run out of fuel. So what I'm going to do is I just went online to good old Amazon and ordered an LED dash light kit. So it comes with like the little bulkhead guys, I guess, that mount the bulb in there. They're like little 3mm LED bulbs. I'm just going to put a green LED bulb in the dash and then just run the hot wire to it and then ground it out. So when the pump hot wire kicks on, that will kick on, and we'll all be happy. We will all be happy. Yeah. Is that right? I'll have to think about that. Just make sure I'm not doing something wrong. But I think that's going to work. No, it's not going to work. Yes, because the relay doesn't turn on unless it's grounded. So yes, okay. Relays always confuse me. But yeah, so that will work out, and then we'll have a green light on the dash that says like, hey, your secondary fuel pump's on. I'll be able to check, kind of get a feel for when that happens. Should be consistent. And if it doesn't come on, then we know the fuel pump isn't on, and we'll know to kind of lay off. And if it comes on but the fuel pump's burnt, then the car will just melt down, and hey, that's just you can only put so many fail safes in place, but we'll do our best to do with what we got and keep it kind of affordable. Affordable is a good word. Value for money, good high value for money. So we'll go ahead and get that wired up now. Yeah. Here's what we got. We got the so I got the new relay hung, which is this guy right now. That's the old relay, and we ran all the wires for the pump. We'll say it in Spanish, the pumpa, and we got the Hobb switch right here, and it's just set up on the ground side of the relay. So when it hits 3 psi, in theory, it will ground out, which will trigger the relay, which is right now, and that will suck the volts from the this distribution box. I have a 4-gauge wire coming in. It's on 12 gauge, I think 12. Yeah, 12 gauge wire, or 10 gauge. What am I on? I am on 12 gauge. So it rolls 12 gauge down to the pumps, which should be more than sufficient, and then grounds to this big old stud, which is also ran all the way from the battery. So we got a nice clear, not just positive signal from the battery, but we also got a nice clear ground signal from the battery. So got that all buttoned up now. So T here, that goes to the loud valve, which opens up at like, I think around 5 pounds of boost. This guy will go up, goes up through the trunk, goes the Hobb switch, kicks on the Hobb switch at 3 psi, grounds it, and then that triggers the relay, which turns on the secondary fuel pump. So we have an extra 380. So we'll have 380 running full time, and then this guy, every time we hit like 3 pounds of boost, it'll come on and give us some extra fuel. So we have 2 pumps, which should be able to give me more than what I need on ethanol. So that is the plan. Everything is all wrapped up. All the wires ran. The only thing we're missing, of course, is the shutoff valves to run these dash 10s to the filters, and that system will be completely taken care of. So pretty happy with that. So I'm pretty happy with that, and it was tedious. Took a lot of time actually, but yeah, everything went well, which is nice since the day started kind of crazy and kind of not going my direction, but turning around.